Welcome back to Fast RC, buddy. My name is Ryan. Today's episode of RC Weekly, we have new releases from Traxxas, Team Associated, Redcat, and Proline. Plus, we got some new vehicles on Discontinued Watch that we need to talk about, and of course, cover the hottest sales in RC. So stick around. See you on the other side of the intro. Alright, and it is good to be back to RC Weekly with you guys. And so let's not waste any time because I got a couple weeks worth of updates for you. So we'll go ahead and dive into the first one here from Traxxas. And a couple weeks ago, they released the Mini Rally VXL Ford RS200 based off the Ford Rally car from back in the day. And I, for one, think this is a really cool release. They're continuing to build out that mini line of vehicles, but now they got this like really super scale mini rally car, which I think is just awesome. When it was released a couple weeks ago, there was kind of a little bit of a mixed review as far as from like Facebook and Reddit and comments about the price range. Now I'll admit the price range is a bit on the higher side, being that it's supposed to be a mini vehicle on that mini max chassis. But this thing does come with 1/10 scale electronics, and I guess technically with the size dimensions of the vehicle, it is kind of like a 1/10 on-road rally car. So I don't know, it's kind of continuing that trend of mini vehicles being priced as 1/10 vehicles. But like I said, it does come with 1/10 scale electronics and a VXL brushless motor. So kind of puts it in the same league of like the Mini XRT, which is kind of cool. So $429.95, it is a clipless body and a really scale detail body, which is nice to see. So let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments, and let's go ahead and get to the next update. Alright, taking a trip back to Rumor Central. And so this one I'm stitching into the video. I've actually already filmed the entire RC Weekly for this week, but this one kind of popped up as I was getting ready to edit the video. And so on Reddit, there was a post showing a new X-Maxx MT, which the X-Maxx MT we already covered a few weeks back. But it looks like we might also be getting a 50th anniversary edition Bigfoot, which would make sense, this being the year of the 50th anniversary, and then we've already gotten the 50th anniversary in the 10 scale edition. So it makes sense if you're going to make an X-Maxx version Bigfoot that you would also make the 50th anniversary. Just some of the comments I was reading on Reddit, it sounds like this is going to be a special edition vehicle and there might be a limited run on these. So didn't see anything about the price or how many units would be available, but if this is real, looking at the picture, and to me it looks real, and would make sense, it'll probably be a super limited run. Whatever they did with the first edition of the 50th anniversary, probably be the same for the X-Maxx, be my guess. As far as price, probably going to carry a little bit of a price premium and be somewhere, I'm just going to take a guess, I don't know, probably 15 to 1700, I don't know. Anyways, thought it was interesting and thought you guys should know about it, so let's go ahead and get to the next update. Alright, and next up from Team Associated, we have the RC10 6x6 that we talked about. This was like the semi-truck kit, race kit that they released, I want to say like maybe 4 or 5 months ago. So now it's back, the same kit, except a different color. It's metallic gold, or kind of bronzish color. Same kit, just different color if you want to check it out. I, for one, still think this kit is really cool. The price coming in at $379.99. I think it's a cool kit. I think it's an interesting vehicle. I haven't really heard too much about how it drives or performs, but nonetheless, it looks like at the very minimum, looks like it would be a really cool shelf queen, in my opinion. Anyways, go ahead and get to the next update. Alright, and next up from Redcat, we have the Ascent 1/32 scale crawler. And this is one that we've known about for a little over a month now, from the conference in Las Vegas. But I didn't talk about it because there wasn't like an official release information yet. But now there is. And so this thing is coming out. It's going to be a direct competitor with the Axial SCX30. Although this Ascent 32 is actually going to be a tad bit bigger than the Axial. But still, they're miniature crawlers. Nonetheless, this thing looks really cool. The Redcat's coming out with upgrade parts like right away. So if you want to get this thing, which the price is really nice at $79.99, so really cheap to pick this one up. And then if you want to add some upgrades to it, you can pick those up from Redcat as well. So definitely a cool one to check out. I know there's some review videos and other stuff out there on YouTube already. I, for one, just like mini crawlers and definitely wanted to add it to RC Weekly for this week. So that's it for that one. Let's go ahead and get to the next update. Alright, and next up from Team Associated is another vintage model kit getting re-released, or released, I guess. But this one just got announced earlier this afternoon because this is Thursday night when I'm filming this. But this is going to be the Team Associated 1/12 scale RC12L pan car kit. And kind of check it out, just got announced today. The price is coming in at $289.99. It's got a whole host of features, carbon fiber chassis, damper plates, all that good stuff. Definitely looks like it's been decked out and ready for racing. But one thing I wanted to note just on the body of this thing, it actually has like the scale driver in there with the window, which I thought was a pretty cool touch. I hadn't seen that on like the on-road racing cars kits. So this one's kind of nice to see the actual driver in there. I like that stuff. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to the next update. And this next one's from a brand that we haven't really talked about ever, but I saw this kind of floating around on Facebook and a couple different other websites and YouTube. But the WIRC Racing, the SC8E four-wheel drive short course truck, so it's like an 8-scale short course truck, just got announced, and I watched a video on it, and I thought it was just like a really cool rig and wanted to mention it here on RC Weekly. Coming out, 8-scale short course truck, competition grade, kit engineering, premium materials, all that good stuff. Definitely dig into it more if you're interested. I think the body is just really interesting, and kind of watching it drive around was cool to see. Price wise, it looks like it's coming in around $860-ish. If you want to check that out, we'll go ahead and get to the next update. All right, and this next one has me really excited because it's going to be part support for one of our favorite vehicles, and that's the Gorgon and Quake. So from Proline, they are releasing a new set of wheel and tires for your Gorgon and your Quake. And not the mini versions, this is for the actual 1/10 scale Gorgon and Quakes. So from Proline, we have the Dirt Hog 2.0s, which are going to be your 2.6-inch monster truck tires, and it's a stock direct fit replacement for your Gorgon and Quake, coming in at $32.99, which I think is a totally fair price for a pair of tires, especially at the 1/10 scale. The biggest thing, the reason why I'm excited about this particular release is because it just shows me that Horizon Hobbies is actually going to try to support this Gorgon and Quake platform with new upgrades such as tires and hopefully like bodies and new body mounts and things like that down the road. I think would be really cool. But really good sign. I definitely think Horizon Hobbies and Arma by proxy has a winner on their hands with the Gorgon and the Quake. It's an extremely popular truck and definitely my favorite truck in my fleet right now. So yes, if Horizon Hobbies is watching this, definitely keep them coming. It's nice to see upgraded parts for the Gorgon and the Quake. So just excited. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to the next update. And this next one real quick is not so much an RC update, but this is more of kind of like a hobby update. I just wanted to put it on RC Weekly real quick for you guys. Being in the RC hobby, one thing that kind of, another hobby that kind of lends itself to the RC hobby or is like a logical progression is 3D printing. And there's a big sale that started this last week with Bambu Labs. 3D printers, if you go check them out, I'll put a link down in the description, but they have a big sale going for Black Friday for pretty much the whole month of November. I have a 3D printer, you can see here right behind me. Had this thing for about a year, and I print parts, all sorts of stuff for like organization tools, but I do print like a lot of 3D parts, not 3D printed parts, but that's obvious, but parts for RC cars. Like I've done exhaust pipes, I've done spacers, I've done motor heat sink, or not heat sinks, but motor fan grills, such as like the little engine ones that I built. So just putting it on the channel, there is a big sale on 3D printers if you're thinking about getting into it. If you're already into RC and you're looking to jump over and do a little bit of 3D printing, great time to pick up a 3D printer at Bambu Labs. Like I said, I'll go ahead and throw the links down in the descriptions. Me in particular, I have the A1 right here, and so the A1 combo right now is $379.99, which is a great deal. I actually paid $300 just for the printer, not including the multicolor stuff, last year. So it's actually cheaper now than it was last year, which is kind of crazy. Anyways, hope you got something out of that. Let's go ahead and get to the next update. And we're going back for another round of Discontinued Watch. So first up with Discontinued Watch, these are a couple of vehicles. Well, we actually have two vehicles we need to talk about. These might have been discontinued for a little bit, or at least the first one. So the first one I got to talk about is the Team Associated Rival MT10. That one is not surprising because on Discontinued Watch weeks back, maybe like a couple months ago, we talked about the Rival MT8 that was discontinued and like completely gone, even from off of like other online retailers and eBay. But now following suit, the Rival MT10 is also discontinued, which is a bummer. I heard a lot of really great things about that monster truck, but we know how it goes. Like the RC life cycle, usually things come around for a few years and then they go away. So Rival MT10 is now discontinued, and then followed behind that, I know this one is fairly new, the Kyosho EP Phaser. This is the Tundra, the orange Tundra. because I remember when that was released and I couldn't believe it. It was actually 3 years ago when that was first announced. So like I said, usually these things last for a few years and then they go away. So that's the next one on the list, the EP Phaser Tundra. It's that really cool, sick looking street Tundra. Kind of looks like a drift truck, honestly, but really, really cool truck getting discontinued, which is a bummer. Also, too, one other thing I wanted to note, in the next segment when we cover current sales, there's going to be one vehicle I talk about. It's going to be specifically the 1/18th Axial Capra 4-wheel steer. That one I'm putting on Discontinued Watch. Doesn't mean it's discontinued, but we're going to be keeping an eye on it because it has a 33% off discount for pre-Black Friday sales. And like we always talk about, when things on the Horizon Hobby side go over the 30% discount threshold, for us, that puts them on Discontinued Watch, and they're at potential of being discontinued. So we'll definitely take a look at that. So that's all I got for Discontinued Watch. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. All right, next up, and the final update for this segment is going to be a channel update. I just wanted to chat with you guys for just a second. I know we missed last week's episode of RC Weekly, and one of the things when I first started this series was like, I'm never ever going to miss a week. And then week 32 came and I ended up missing it. All right, so basically what I wanted to just give you guys an update on is RC Weekly is not going anywhere. We're going to keep doing this every week, but I am going to move the day that it gets released. Usually right now I release it on a Tuesday. The way it usually works is I would usually film Monday nights, release it on Tuesday, schedule it for release on Tuesday. But going forward, we're going to actually change that to Friday morning. So I'm going to film on Thursday night, which I'm doing here now, and then release it on Friday mornings. Mainly because it works out a little bit better for my schedule, and there's also kind of like some tactical reasons for that. So like one of the big ones is that Team Associated and Horizon Hobbies tend to release, I think Team Associated tends to release on like a Tuesday or Thursday, and then Horizon Hobbies is like definitely Thursdays. And then Traxxas, I don't know, I feel like Traxxas is kind of like all over the map. They'll release on like a Sunday or a Monday, but they're kind of all over. But nonetheless, I figured I would move RC Weekly so we can catch some of those new releases like right as they're coming out. Also, too, having to do with sales. A lot of sales will tend to happen like like the day I finish an episode of RC Weekly on a Monday night, like literally the next day, like there will be a sale, or it might be like Wednesday there'll be a sale. So I feel like moving the episode filming to Thursday night definitely gives us enough buffer to catch some of those sales. Because one of the main things on this RC Weekly, especially if you're new here, is I try to catch those sales for you guys and let you know what is actually a good sale and what is not with the RC Price Tracker dashboard. And it kind of sucks when I release an episode and then there's like immediately a new sale right after the episode, and then I can't usually catch it until the following week unless I do a special episode. So enough rambling on that. Just the thing to note is that Friday morning is going to be the new release date for RC Weekly, so it's not going anywhere, and so I'll definitely see you on the next one. So let's go ahead and so that's all I got for updates. Go ahead and get the sales. All right, let's save some cash. So first up for our current sales this week is going to be the Horizon Hobby pre-Black Friday sale, and now that I think about it, it's actually the only sale this week, but we'll go through it. So this is at Horizon Hobbies, but you can also find these sales at Tower Hobbies and Amain Hobbies. They all basically got the same deals on the exact same models. And in particular, we have 3 models that we need to talk about. So first up, let's talk about the Axial Capra 4-wheel steer. This is the 1/18th version with the battery and charger combo. Is $100 off for $199.99. Like I talked about in the Discontinued Watch section, that's a 33% discount, so we're definitely putting that on Discontinued Watch, and we're going to keep an eye on it and see if it actually gets discontinued or not. It's over that 30% threshold. Other than that, looking at surface vehicles, there's a couple other ones here. So we have the Arma Vortex 223S. This is a really cool, the really cool Vortex that got released a few months back. Actually, might have been like 6 months ago. That is a 2-wheel drive Vortex, but with the 223S system, getting reduced for $50 down to $209.99. That's a great price. I'll go ahead and flash the graph up on the sale, but that is by far the lowest price we've seen for 2025 since this was released. So if you're looking to pick one of these up, it's a great time to do that. Good sale there. Next up, we have the Arma Granite Grom for $109.99. This one also is the lowest price we've seen on this vehicle since release. And I want to say, gosh, I forgot the percentage on this. I'll put it on the screen. I don't think this is on Discontinued Watch because I think the percentage is somewhere around like 27%. So it's not at that 30% threshold, so I'm not worried about it going away nonetheless. But still, great price if you're looking to pick up a Granite Grum. Probably the best deal you're going to see on this thing all year. So that pretty much does it for the sales for pretty much for this week. I'm not going to go through the brand sales today just because there really isn't much out there at the moment. Kind of feels like everything is starting to like kind of consolidate. There's not a whole lot of sales, and then I would expect over the next like couple weeks with Black Friday, and definitely on Black Friday, we're probably going to see some crazy deals. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that for you guys and stay tuned, and any other sales that comes up, I'll make sure you know about it. So that's all I got for the current sales for this week. Let's go ahead and get to Scratch and Dent. Okay, it looks like I lied. There actually is one more sale that I need to cover, and I'm once again stitching this into the video because I forgot to cover this in my giant list of things to run down for this episode. But from Tower Hobbies, there is a Castle Creations high voltage savings sale. That looks like is going to the 11th, so we got a few more days here on this one. Pretty good deals. So a lot of these motor combos and things that are up here are seeing pretty steep discounts, anywhere, you know, 94, 114, $84 off the crawler combo here. Let's just go ahead and click on it and see what we got in here. I'll be honest, I haven't dug too much into this. I took a glance at it a couple days ago. I think maybe yesterday or the day before is when I saw it pop up on Tower Hobbies. Speaking of that, if you want to keep up to date on these kind of sales and things, especially from like Tower Hobbies, I set up the phone notifications. So like as soon as these sales drops, I get a text message, and honestly, like it's pretty good. Like there's some pretty good sales that pop up on there. So just a pro tip for that. But anyways, you can see here, pretty good deal here on a brushless Sidewinder system, 5700 kV, $100. That's more for like your on-road car type stuff. Some other discounts here, $94 off, $99 off the crawler combo with the Cobra setup, Cobra ESC. That's actually really nice. I don't know, that's interesting for $184. You can see here 5th scale 8th, or not 5th scale, but the Cobra 5 8S electronics 229, not bad. Almost $80 savings. I won't run through all of these, but just wanted to give you guys a heads up that there's definitely some deals right now to take a look at. And yeah, just I'll probably link it down in the description. Anyways, that's all I got for the sales. Now let's go ahead and get to the Scratch and Dent. Alright, welcome to my favorite section of Scratch and Dent. So first up, we're going to start with Tower Hobbies, and just FYI, I know I say this every time, but to take advantage of Scratch and Dent deals at Horizon Hobbies, you have to be a Super Saver Club member, which costs you about $10 a year. To take advantage of these deals. Also too, like I've been saying the last few times with RC Weekly, I'm not going to go over the entire list because a lot of this stuff gets really repetitive, but I will cover the new stuff that pops up on the list just so you guys are aware of it. And we do have some new models on the Scratch and Dent for this week, so let's go ahead and dive into it, do a little bit of screen share here. Still some really good deals with like the Vortex that's on there for $250. Those have been on there for a while, but the new ones that I want to talk about here are the Arma Fury 223S. These are the two-wheel drive Furies, are now on the list. These are new for $194.99, and what's cool is they actually got all three colors. They have the greenish highlighter yellow one, they got the purple and pink one, which I'm partial to, and then they got the blue and red version, all at the same price, $194.99. I could tell you as far as like pricing for like new vehicles, that's definitely the lowest price I've ever seen on those vehicles. So if you're looking to pick up any of those three, you're not going to lose. It's a pretty good deal for what it is, especially sub 200 for a 223S model. Not bad, but pretty good saving, about, $65. Anyways, that's all I got for Tower Hobby Scratch and Dent. Let's go ahead and get to Amain. Alright, and next up is the Amain Hobby Scratch and Dent. And so like I've been doing the last few weeks, we'll just cover the few vehicles that are here at the top of the list with the biggest discount. And so first up is Element RC Night Runner 4x4, which is on sale for about 18% off for $307.99. I think that's a pretty good price for what that one is. Behind that, Team Associate DR10 Electric Drag Race Car Kit for $225.99, about 15% off. That one I think should go down a little bit lower because the other Drag Race Car Kit is only $150. So you might want to pass on that and just go get the other kit. And then we had the Losi Mini B 116 scale 2-wheel drive buggy for $219.99. It's about 12% off. Yeah, if you want to check out the rest of this list, you can go to fastrc.net and check out the RC price tracker dashboard where I keep track of all this stuff. It's also a really good site if you want to look at like price history from Amain Hobbies on a lot of your favorite models. You'll see the actual like dips and peaks and valleys, and when these models go on sale and what the actual like rock bottom price is. That's the tool. Actually, it's so useful. I use it myself to go and see what models are actually like really good deals. So check it out, fastrc.net. It's free to use. I update it usually once or twice a week. But yeah, go and check it out. I hope you guys got something out of this episode. Apologize for missing last week, but we're back on schedule for Friday mornings, and I'll definitely see you on the next episode. Take care, guys.